Hey guys, I'm Abby, and welcome back to One Code Camp channel. Today, we are going to talk about object literals and more things that we can do with enhanced object literals. Let's go! I'm still going to be using the same folder of modern.js and the sandbox.html. Let's just create a new file and name it object literals.js. Connect it in our HTML file. And open it with our live server. Okay, and let's just name this accordingly. There. Alright. What are object literals? Object literals are a way to define and create objects in JavaScript. An object literal is a comma-separated list of key value pairs enclosed in curly braces. Now, let's take the steps in creating this. Step 1 is let's create an object literal representing a person. That will be const person, then the pair of curly braces. Then we're going to add in some properties and values, or the key value pairs, inside the curly braces. So let's add in first name, last name, age, and hobbies. Let's say reading, coding, and hiking. You can add in more if this person has more hobbies. All right, we can also add in a method to this object. Let's say a method of greet, and it's going to be a function. And inside the function, we just want to add it to our console once we call this method later on. Okay, let's open our console. Don't worry about this, we can clear this out. Now that we have those properties, we can try and access them. Let's say person.firstname. Oops, let me just turn off my autosave. And this is getting kind of in the way, so let's remove that. And let's also try accessing the age. Of course, we've learned this. We need to put in the name of the object first, which is the person, before the specific property. Since we can access them, we can also modify those properties. Let's try accessing person.lastname and change it to something else. From Doe, we're gonna reassign this to Smith. There. And let's see the difference if we comment this out. It's Doe, but since we reassigned it, it is now Smith. Okay, now let's work on the object methods. Let's access it first, person.greet, and here is where we will be able to output the console.log inside our object. That's working perfectly. The reassigned last name is also reflected here. There's the difference. Now, let's try adding new properties. Maybe just one for this example. Nationality of American. And there we were able to output it as well. If we can add new properties, let's try adding a new method as well. Name syntax, person, dot, then the name of the method. Let's name this introduce, then function. And we want to be able for this person to introduce themselves once this method is called. I am this dot first name, this dot last name. Okay, and I am, let's put in the age as well. There you go. So we won't be able to see it just yet. And let's say person.introduce. And there you go. I am John Smith. I am 25 years old. Now, what if we want to add a new property, but that property has sub-properties like an address? We have things like house number, street, and so on. This is where we can create an object within an object, or what we call nested objects. Okay, so that's const address, we have the street, the city, New York, country. Okay, now we can put more properties within a property for us to be able to make our data more organized. Say person.address and say address. We've learned this before. And then we can console.log the person.address. And we will be able to see all of those things inside. And we just have to say one more dot and the specific property inside that address property. And we will be able to see that specific street that we have. Okay, and last step is for us to be able to easily access our properties without doing person.firstname, person.lastname, and so on. We've tackled the structuring in our previous videos, so if you aren't familiar with this one, you can watch our video for that. Okay, so const first name, last name, and age, and we will get it from the person object. And if you console.log, we just have to say first name, last name, and so on, without person dot and then the name of the property. Okay, there you go. We have created an object literal representing a person. Now onto the more advanced and modern features, the enhanced object literals. Okay, let's say we want to add in new properties here. We already know this. This is step 2, right? Let's put in birth year of 2000. Okay, and birthplace of New York. Then, oops, we are missing a comma. There you go. Now, let's log it to our console. Console.log, and then person.birth year. And we can add in the person.birthplace right here as well. There you go. We have 2000 and now what we can do here is create a variable outside our object person. All right, let's put that up here. Const birth year. Let's put in the same details, 2000, and const birthplace of New York as well. Now that we have these variables, we can add in these variable names inside our person object. So birth year is equal to, or is the birth year property will have the birth year value for that. Okay, and the same with birthplace. And we will have the same output. Now, let's also add those in our greet method so that we can see if it will have the same output as well. Okay, I was born in this dot birth year in this dot birthplace. Okay. Oops, let's fix this spacing here. There you go. All right. We are able to have this output and it's working perfectly fine. However, this is repeating itself. And of course, we don't want repetition in our codes, right? What we can do in enhanced object literals is that we can just delete the value altogether and leave this as is, birth year and birthplace. And the output will still be the same without repeating ourselves. We can also improve and shorten our method here by removing the function keyword and just leave greet parentheses, and it will still be the same. Alright, last thing that we can do when working on enhanced object literals is we can add functions. Let's create a function outside our person object. Name it getHobbies. Okay, we want to get all hobbies. Again, if you're not yet familiar with spread and rest operators, which is this 3 dots right here, you can check out our previous videos. So this dot hobbies, okay, and then let hobbies, and we just want to say who this person is. So we just want to get back this string later on when we call this hobbies. Okay, how many hobbies does this person have? So that is all hobbies dot length. Okay, then we just want to map through those hobbies. So down here, what we can do is we can use a method called for each. So we can say all hobbies dot for each, then put in hobby, okay, and then the index. This will be an arrow function, and inside we want to basically introduce John and his hobbies, and we will reference our hobby in here. Okay, then let's work on the index as well. We want to be able to output or list out all of John's hobbies individually. So if our index is not equal to the last item, we want to list down and start in a new line. Let's actually also put up a new line in here. So here we want to be able to introduce John, how many hobbies he has, and then a new line, and then for each of the hobby we want to start a new line as well. Okay, and we just want to return hobbies after all that's done. Okay, then we can put that anywhere we want. Let's say we can put it here after the greet method. All right, here, get hobbies. Oops, that shouldn't have the parentheses. Okay, and log it out to our console. Just down here. Okay, and access person first because that's where we put it. Okay, person dot get hobbies. And there you go. We were able to say how many hobbies John has and list down those hobbies as well, all in a new line. So that wraps it up for object literals and enhanced object literals. I hope you guys learned a lot and hope to see you again in our next ones.